This in no way is meant as a jab against the church, but there are things that a simple recording, video or otherwise, wouldn't have enough room or time to cover. The church, in the sense of the Roman Catholic Church, claims that it never changes in the way of worship. No. But in the sense of behind the scenes, it sure has. Prior to the early 70s or mid 70s, it was thought that that person was hardcore. Since then, it's evolved into other ways, still held with high regards. I get that there are things still unknown, but how can anything move forward if we hold on to something from so long ago? And to keep elaborating on what I have just read, and I don't know everything on this subject because simply I don't. And to claim that would be a complete moronic thing to do. And I mean, I don't know anything else other than, like, as I had for the second time already, have read where how can we move forward if we hold on to something that has been in the past? I mean, I'm all for history, don't get me wrong, but I feel like the church, to their credit, is trying to hold on to the glory days of what was. And as great as that probably was, that's not going to happen anytime soon. And to hold on to such a traditionalist way of going about stuff in the modern world is completely ridiculous. And when certain groups such as pro-life groups, and not to rip on them, but when they rip on various liberal groups, whether it's the gays or whether it's stuff like that, and they're saying like, oh, a certain teacher should be fired because of this or that. It's like, or they kick a kid out of school for being that particular way, lesbian, gay, bi, trans, whatever. Then it's sort of comes along as if, okay, you say you're pro-life, okay, that's wonderful. But the moment someone is different or goes against your views that you have, then it's like, well, it's kind of like, well, not to be blunt, but then it's kind of like a screw you. Well, then, if you're pro-life, but you pull in stunts like that, then you're really just pro-birth. I mean, you're all for it right until the kid pops out. And when the kid does pop out, then it's like, well, you're on your own. And how is that cool? Or how is that okay? I mean, again, I don't know everything on the subject, and the claim such would be completely moronic for me to do. But again, as I have a history with repeating myself, how can one claim that they are for this pro-life scene when they're not willing to bring everyone else on board? I mean, everyone's like, oh, you shouldn't be with someone that is divorced. Woman at the well, how many husbands? And what about the woman caught in the act of adultery? I mean, with that is like, he said something along the lines of, who is without sin should cast the first stone. Everyone left. So, I mean, not to nitpick, but it's kind of like, you're saying one thing, but practicing another. And not to diss the Catholic Church in the sense of the Roman Rite or anything, but I think the Church in that sense is like the most extreme form of Christianity because it's like when there's good things that happen, whether it's like, Pope has an audience with how many people, does the whole laying on of hands, and a couple days later, someone who is insanely sick gets better. Okay, that's beautiful. What isn't beautiful is the controversy with insert whatever gross story that has happened in the last God knows how many years. And wasn't like the last one, the whole Philadelphia thing that went down. I mean, not to be gross, but when it's stuff like that, it's like you can't sweep that under the rug, because eventually the mound does get bigger and you can't hide it for too long, because then eventually it's going to come to light of day. And we've all heard the gross jokes about it, and it's like, does that really help the situation? I mean, yeah, the first one's okay, maybe, but in all honesty, the jokes do sort of push it along, almost make it sound like it's a laughable thing. But yet, if it's a whole nother situation, we're ready to crucify the person that has done such an act. I mean, and not to ramble on for much longer, but as much as I enjoy Catholicism and what it brings to the table as far as Christianity goes, I think it's a little too extreme, like I had said moments earlier, because when it's really good, it's good, but when crap hits the metaphorical fan, it's a crap storm. And just to lower the risk of not repeating myself for the millionth time already in this video, that's about it. Peace out.